VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Would you love to deepen your spiritual connection and create a conscious shift in your life? Do you seek answer to human experience? Well, welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a 2.5-hour safe haven for your questions and Spirit's answers. And you can transform your life right now on VCMG in South Florida. Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium who can assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. For the next 2.5 hours, listen and call in toll-free 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube and share love and light.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart, the ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life. We can't run away anymore. The world is changing now. We need to heed the warning. The world is calling you to rise above where you've been. The world is changing now. What we did before doesn't work. It's time for you. It's time for me to change. The world is changing now. Won't you change and open your heart?
Open your heart right here on the Oldies Station. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. And we're looking for your questions. And we're listening to your heart. There's that song, Listen to Your Heart. We've got to listen to your heart because your heart always has a message. And that message is designed to guide you, to open up doors, to align you with the divine. So I ask you, are you listening to your heart or are you listening to your mind chatter? The conversation that goes on in your head. Yes, your head, your mind, your intelligence will guide you and give you valid information, but it's also spitting back at you the opinions of others, the impressions of others, the experiences of others. It's giving you feedback of past memories that are similar, but no two experiences are the same. Can't allow the mind to run us amok. We have to drop down and listen to our heart. For within your heart lies everything you need. Lies power, lies connection, lies emotion, lies the energy necessary to create anything in this world. Yes, anything. Anything in this world you can create. You have the power to transform your life with the power of love. Love is an energy. And this energy is what has created this entire world, this entire universe. But I know we've been conditioned to believe love to be this emotion that's about falling in love and being in love with people and experiences. And we're taught to feel that feeling, but often that feeling is driven by other thoughts and feelings of past experiences. So if you had a relationship and it didn't work out well and you were feeling lost and alone and not feeling worthy of a partner, and someone pays attention to you, it's a little easier to fall in love because you feel like, wow, someone's paying attention to me. They must feel something for me. The truth is that you didn't heal the heart from the past relationship. And in the end, you attract another experience that's very similar to what you've already had. The energetic frequency attracts that which is like its previous experience. So what are you focusing on? Are you dropping down in your heart and listening to the heart that says you are powerful, that says you are mighty, that says that you can transform anything in your life? Are you listening to those energies? You see, the heart knows that it knows that it knows that it knows. And it's this feeling that you cannot and most likely will not be able to explain to anyone. You just know. I remember when I was teaching a group of women how to be in the Mary Kay Cosmetics company and how to sell and how to recruit. I was doing that for quite a long time. And it was a great feeling. And I would tell them what would work for them, how they could earn a decent living and create momentum and sell. And I would tell them, this is what you do to get a certain result. And often they would ask me the question, but how do you know? How do you know it's going to work? And I would look at them and I say, I know, like I know, like I know, like I know. Like I just knew that if they said that particular sentence or they presented the product in a particular manner, it was going to attract the right result. This was long before my spiritual journey. I was already listening to the promptings of my heart, of my soul, and they kind of guided me to feel a certain way, to feel excited and enthusiastic over something that I was doing. I knew to listen to that. I also knew to listen to my heart when it had that weird sinking feeling. You know that feeling when you know something's about to go south and you just get a weird feeling and you know that something's not good, something's not right. We can call it our gut feeling, but we can feel it not just in the pit of our stomach, but in the heart of us, the core of us. And I remember the times that I felt those most significant feeling of my heart just dropping from my chest. I remember those feelings. And I've learned to pay attention to how my heart feels whenever I'm doing something. I've learned to monitor it, much like a doctor monitors your blood pressure. I monitor the feeling in my heart. How does my heart feel? Does my heart feel happy? Does it feel satisfied? Does it feel aligned? Does it feel safe? Does it feel connected? How does it feel? And I ask you to do the same. I ask you to tune in and tap in and really just connect to the energy of the divine within you. I want you to let your mind, with all of its powers, all of its intelligence, all of its ability to figure things out, I want you to ask your mind what you should do next. And let your mind go in a million different directions and show you all different versions of how life could be. Don't become attached to any one version that your mind presents. Once your mind presents you with options and you narrow it down and say, this is what I'd like to do, sometimes there's some figuring out we have to do. And I want you to just drop down in your heart and say, how does this make me feel? Do I feel content at the thought of doing this? Do I feel content with the choice that I made? And what is contentment? It's a peaceful feeling that comes over you that is such a tremendous alignment with God, that it truly makes you know that and feel that you're powerful, that there's nothing that you cannot do. It is a perfect day, on the most sunny day, when you feel aligned with your heart. When you're out of whack with your heart, that's when we get those emotions that create angst and anxiety. There's a sense of not belonging or feeling as if life is passing you by and you don't have anything. You just feel, well, the words I hear often these days are empty. I hear people say they feel empty. What brings that about? Well, not being in the right place, not being with the right person, not doing what you love, not doing enough for you, taking care of you, pushing your feelings down to accommodate other people, and putting up with things that go against the grain of who you are. I was talking to someone earlier, and she was talking about how she felt empty. But there's so much going on, she just doesn't see where she fits into the story anymore. And when we have lost ourselves, as we can all do at one point or another, often it can happen. When that happens, we feel empty. How many of you are feeling empty? Maybe life has brought a different chapter. We have all of our young ones graduating from kindergarten or 8th grade or middle school. They're graduating off to high school, and our high schoolers are going off to college. So maybe there's a sense of things aren't going to be the same, so there's an emptiness that builds. But the one thing I can promise you is always going to happen and always guarantee you is that there's always going to be change. And change gives us all an opportunity to revisit and drop down in our heart. But as humans, we don't always like that feeling. We tie ourselves to the chains and past experiences. We don't want to let go of the past. We don't like change. We like to be used to what we're used to, so therefore, why change anything? Better to know the devil I know than the devil I don't know is a saying that's been said. Right? But we also know that if we don't change and we're dissatisfied, what's going to happen? Same thing. Different day, same thing. And so many of you are going through changes that are trying to push you forward, and you're holding on to the past. Because as humans, we've become very attached. You see, the heart is not about being attached. Love is not about being attached to someone. Love is about allowing people to be who they are and be in the energy that they are. Love them for who they are. Love yourself for who you are. And find joy and harmony in peaceful moments. If you can't do that, then you're not in the right surroundings, and you most certainly haven't done enough work on loving yourself. Love is not about holding a person hostage, about never breaking up. Love is about evolving and growing within yourself and with your partner, and things cannot stay the same. There's so many ways that we can grow in the energy of love. And love requires vulnerability and peeling back the layers and sharing your vulnerable moments with people that you can trust. Oh yes, but then how do you know who to trust? I know, I can hear you. How do we know who to trust? Well, someone you trust will listen and hold the energy and love you regardless of what you tell them, and guide you with their best heartfelt energy and opinion. And they'll let you figure it out. They won't push you in any one way. They will let you figure it out. They'll cheer you on. When you feel like giving up, they'll stand there and they'll say that it matters how you feel, and that you need to be able to express how you feel, and that they're there to hold that energy and space for you to make the changes that you want. Not say to you, why haven't you changed? You need to change. Change, you have to make the change. People will get things changed when they're ready, or when the storyline is ready. There are stories in people's lives that are just impossible to change for the moment, because the universe has a different story. We all pick a path. We pick a path, we obligate ourselves to experiences, and sometimes you just can't wake up one morning and go, I'm out. People do, and you could, but it rarely works out well, and it's rarely driven from the heart. It's usually driven from another place in your emotional being. It's driven from maybe pushing energy from other people who say, you shouldn't put up with that. You need to. It's not anyone's place to tell you what you should do. Your heart knows the answer. And even when I sit with Spirit, and I really love sitting with Spirit, they tell me the craziest things. But when I sit with Spirit, Spirit will tell me in a moment in your life when you went back in time, and I'll say, I'm going back to this year. And I'll say a year, let's say 2018, and they'll be like, oh my God, that was when I was getting divorced. That was the worst time ever. How do I know that? Spirit knows that. And Spirit knows that that was the time that you needed to change. Sometimes Spirit will go back and say a date, a time in your life, and say, but you're on the path you're on now because of things that were difficult for you, but you didn't make the changes. So we're still on track with what your difficulties were, what was uncomfortable for you. We're still on that path, that track. And they're like, yeah, you're right. I was going to break up with them, or I was going to leave my job, and then I decided I didn't. I shouldn't. I couldn't. And we come up with our reasons, right? But your heart is pushing you, saying, go now. Go. But the attachments in our mind, like, oh, but if I leave, I'm going to lose this, and I'm going to not have something else in my life, and how do I know it's going to work out? And we begin to psych ourselves out. That's what our mind does. And we all have plenty of a track record that will tell us that sometimes things we have chosen to do didn't work out. So of course your brain's going to go, well, remember the time when it didn't work out? Remember that time? And you'll be like within yourself saying, but I want to make a change. I need to make a change. I feel like I want to change. And your heart is like, go on, do it. We got you. And your brain's going, nah, it's not safe yet. There's too much to give up. There's too much to lose. So you hold on. Sometimes you miss the greatest moments of your life because you're holding on to something that's a past experience, and you didn't give yourself permission to move forward. Now, what I love about when we connect with Spirit is Spirit never sits there and condemns you and says, oh, well, I'm sorry. Your life really in big trouble now because you went left instead of going right, and now you're going to be on a really dark path. Spirit doesn't say that, but Spirit reminds you of the moment when you made a turn or could have made a turn and didn't, depending on your storyline, so that you know how attuned you are. And so if you didn't make the change, you know how you had the prompting, but you listen to a different aspect of yourself. You listen to your fear, which removes us from God, by the way. You listen to your fear, which is void of love. You listen to your fear, which is conditioned experiences that do not define you nor have power over you, but you listen to it anyway, and you are where you are. And you're not really supposed to be in that direction, but you're there. We all have an opportunity to change, and we all have the opportunity to listen to our heart and to truly do what we want to do. I had the pleasure of speaking with someone on the way here, and I was in the car, and I got one of those messages of like, I need to make a life decision. I love life decision questions. And so I had a few minutes, and we began the conversation. And yes, there's some logic in making this change, but they want to change their career or enhance their career so they have more to offer so that they can remain relative and prosperous as the world changes. So they wanted to make this change. Of course, they wanted to check with me to see if Spirit thought it was a good idea. So we did just that as I was driving here. And there is a logic to making change, and there is a way to listen to your heart, and still, as a human, we need to plan and understand what our moves will be, right? If you wake up one day and say, my heart tells me I need to go move to Colorado, that's great, but what's the plan, right? We as humans need some type of plan. But just by telling the universe my heart feels, and I'm in alignment with my heart and the universe is going to start to present to you opportunities that can lead you to Colorado. You may get contacted by a recruiter that says, hey, there's a job opportunity, but it's in Colorado. And then you're like, really? What? You see, your heart knows. Because your heart and your soul, they're connected. Your heart is fueled by the energy of love, which is the energy that fuels you from God. And God has designed this beautiful plan that is yours, that is your destiny. So of course your heart is going to send out a signal to the universe and say, by George, they finally got it. They know exactly where they're supposed to be. Now let's move the moving parts so that we can get this person to where they want to be or with whom they wish to be. So many things that the heart can do for you. But we associate it all with romance and Valentine's Day, which are all great. But your heart holds the greatest power that you have. Because when you're in the energy of love, miracles happen. When you're in the energy of love, you attract all the right people. You manifest all the right experiences. And when you're in the energy of love, love has the power to transform everything before you and give you a sense of peace and connection and joy that is just so powerful that you never want to be separate from it again. It's a great experience to be in the energy of love. And love begins with loving you, because you are the host of that love. So if you're strong enough, powerful enough, special enough, gifted enough, according to the divine plan, to host this powerful energy called love, then you gosh darn better love yourself. Because you are the gift to this earth. You are the energy that expresses your own unique ways and gifts that are given to you and directed by a divine supreme power. You are that expression. So you have all the tools you need right into your heart. And you want to listen to them. Because your heart will know that you have gifts that you haven't even tapped into and say, look over there, try that. We want to see you have that. So trust that everything will work out when we listen to our heart, and trust that even though others may have a different opinion, it's from their mind. Their heart is not your heart. Your heart knows your truth. And drop down and listen to your heart and see what your heart says. And your heart will tell you how you can be a better person, how you can shift and change. Your heart will tell you when you're in alignment. And yes, your heart will tell you when you're out of alignment. Because all those old fears and all those things that run through your mind, that mind chatter, those thoughts, they'll begin to start to creep back up. And then you'll know that you've stepped away from the force of love, the energy of love, and the power of love. Well, we're really glad to be with you here tonight on the Oldie Station. Every Wednesday night we're here from 6:30 to 9 p.m. And tonight we've got a lot coming up. We're going to be answering your questions at 866-972-7247. We're going to, of course, visit our friends on Facebook and YouTube. We're also going to be chatting with my friend Shari Hembree. Shari is holding a soul connection monthly, and we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about her book, Journey of the Lightworker. And in our 8 o'clock hour, we have Stacy Holler. And boy, she better tell us a few things that are going on, because the planets are heating up. Things are starting to move forward and starting to slow up. And we really need to see what's coming up for all of us in our astrological signs in the month of June. We'll be catching Stacy in the 8 o'clock hour. So I sure hope that you got yourself in a comfy place, and that you keep us on your YouTube or your Facebook, or as you're driving in the car. When you pop out of the car and you leave the Oldie Station, go to YouTube, visit Sarah Spiritual, go to Facebook, continue to listen or continue to hear us on the iHeart app. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Car Accident Referral Services Studios. In an accident, why let the lawyers take 33 to 40%? With cars, their network of attorneys will take only 25%. 833-504-CARS. That's 833-504-2277. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next 2 hours of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussions to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another 2 hours to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore.
And we are back here live on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation. And we're welcoming your phone calls at 866-972-7247. We're also welcoming your questions here on Facebook and on YouTube. So we most certainly want to hear from you. We've got our callers on the board, and I want you to put 866-972-7247 on speed dial. So if you get a busy signal, you don't have to sweat it. Just keep hitting redial, and we will be able to connect with you. We're going to go to our phone lines, and I've got to talk to Terry. Terry is in Oregon. Terry, how are you tonight? Are you with us, Terry?
I'm here.
Good, Terry. And how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay.
Good. What is the question for us tonight? How can we help you?
Well, my question is, where I live, they have a problem with, I have 6 cats, and I just want to know if it's going to be okay. If I'm going to move somewhere else, am I going to be okay? It's just hard because they're my kids, you know.
Are we in a building, an apartment?
I'm in a mobile, like a travel trailer.
And they're in your trailer? Is that where they are, in your trailer?
Yeah, but they go out at night and go on people's cars, and people are upset because they leave their paws. You know, it's just so anal. Sorry, excuse my language, but they go on and leave paw prints on their.
Okay.
So.
Paw prints. Well, I guess if they just wax the car, they don't want that, but.
Right.
Is there any way to keep them in at night?
No, because a lot of them have been in and out for, half their life. So,
yeah.
But I can try.
I think if there were less outside, it would be a little easier. Most places have a pet limit. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's like I thought one of them or 2 of them were males and they were girls, and they had, it's just been a big mess.
I understand.
That type of thing.
I understand.
Yeah.
I don't see you at this moment, to answer the question. I don't see you at this moment moving. But this is a time for you. It's like you have your warning. So we want to see how we can readjust things so that you can make it work, so you don't have a problem.
Right. And,
but I don't see the move. Yes.
My grandparents have been trying to give me signs, and I don't know what's going on. Something in the family going on.
Well, what I can tell you is this. When I look at the energy around you and your family, first thing they talk to me about is that it's a complicated dynamic in the family. Is that true? Your family's a little complicated? Would that sum them up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when 2 people are getting together along, and then another 2 aren't getting along, that's not something that family on the other side really like, right? They want that connection. They want that love, energy. And I feel as if that we have 2 people who are on the outs with each other. Feels a little dramatic. And your grandparents are just kind of letting you know that that's a difficult time. But it's most certainly not for you to get involved, but it is for you to be aware that it's going on. Because I feel like some things get complicated and you're almost trying to be the peacemaker. And sometimes it's good for you to just sit back and let things unfold. Grandmother energy is particularly close to you. She stands particularly close to you.
I know it sounds crazy, but I just wish I could talk to her. It's really hard. I miss her so much. I grew up with my grandparents.
Yes, they were your parents essentially. So, but when you talk, they hear you. Just like even when you talk to me, they hear you. So I want you to just trust that,
I know,
all
but I
right?
can't hear them. I know.
But you are
I know,
aware of
but-
the signs. You said when you first connected, I'm feeling like they're giving me a
Yes.
sign. So you have to trust that. Let's go back to the topic of the night. Listen to your heart. Listen to your
You're right.
heart. Your heart is prompting you to pay attention to things that are messages from your grandparents so that you know that you're not as alone as you feel like you are.
Right.
So trust the process. Now, Terry,
Thank you, Sarah. You're
you are the
always so
one.
inspirational. Go ahead.
You're welcome. You are the one who we were missing our cat for a while, and then the cat came back finally. Yes.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
He did.
just like Spirit
And-
told you, when everything looked like, oh my God, what are we going to do? The cat is missing for months. That your cat would come back. I want you to listen to your heart and trust. Your grandparents are with you.
You're right.
All right. How could
You're
I,
right.
how could we
Right.
sit here and say to you, this lost cat after your move that gets lost, that we don't know where this cat is, and the cat doesn't even officially know where you live, that cat was going to come back? Because God's hand is on
You're
everything.
right. You're right. I just felt alone a lot.
I understand.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Seal your house with light and keep a couple of those little kitties inside, and I'm sure everything will be all right. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much. God bless you. Thank
God
you.
bless you. Bye.
Okay.
866-972-7247. If you're on Facebook, we definitely want to talk to you, and we want to hear your questions, and we want to talk to our friends on YouTube. But for this minute, from Oregon, I've got to go to West Palm Beach, and I've got Cynthia on the line. Cynthia, how are you tonight? Good to have you with us, Cynthia.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Just
I'm
speak
good.
up
How
a
are
little.
you?
Speak up a little bit so I can hear you better.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you so much. Cynthia, how did you hear about the show?
I saw it on the, I got an email.
Beautiful. Well, we're glad that you're on our email list and that you're part of our family. Is this your first time calling in?
Yes.
Okay. Cynthia, what's your burning question? What does your heart need to know?
I need to know what happened with my sister that passed.
Let's take a look here. And your sister passed in this past year's time, please? When did she pass?
Yes. She passed in November.
Of 2023, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, because I have 2023 here. So I just have to kind of check my facts from what I hear. Your sister had a very interesting personality, yes? There was a lot of facets to your sister's personality. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And I feel like the two of you were close, but I also feel there are times where you weren't as
Yes.
close. Okay? Like she had her own way of doing things. So sometimes she would kind of go off on her own. But the two of you were close, but she had her own ways. And sometimes you two didn't do things
Right.
the same way. Is that true?
Correct.
And you miss her energy. And you talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
But her passing, they make me feel as if her passing was, they use the word before her time, which I have learned from Spirit that before her time is always the time, all right, because it's God's time. But before her time, when we expected someone to pass, it was before her time. And there was something unexpected in how she passed and how we found her. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And as I see that energy, she takes me to her heart, but then she also takes me to, was she complaining about a headache or something was bothering her a few days before she passed, please?
No, not that I can recall, no.
Okay. Because she's making me feel like everything went like almost like lights out. Like things just kind of stopped for her. And she tried to stay, but she wasn't able to stay. And I'm placing a lot of this in her chest. So something happened within her chest. I don't know if she's being treated for blood pressure or something. But I feel like you feel somebody could have done something, something should have been seen, something should have been prevented. This is what I feel like you feel. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. It was a complication that nobody could have seen coming. That's what I hear from Spirit. Your sister makes me feel as if she wants to come to you in a dream state, but I don't know that you're remembering your dreams just yet. Is that true?
That's true.
Okay. She's going to come, and she's going to give you the reassurance that she's okay.
Okay.
She also talks to me about a trip that you're going to take, or were the two of you going to take a trip? She's talking about a trip. Does that make any sense to you?
I'm going to take a trip.
Is that what you're planning? Yes?
I'm going on a trip.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. She'll be with you on that trip. She makes me aware of this trip.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
She'll be with you. I hope I've been of help to you and answered your question. I know we can't give you exact specifics from the medical perspective, but she is with you.
You did good, but is it? Do I have time to ask anything else, or do I need to?
For this minute, we are complete, but I would love to hear from you again, or have you pop into the center. Perhaps we can do a session together at the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. But know that your sister's with you, and she'll be with you on that trip. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Bye for
Thank
now.
you.
Bye. 866-972-7247. And we've got to go to Naples. I've got Angie on the line. Angie, how you doing?
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing great, Angie. And we see here that there's quite a bit of power around you, making powerful moves and making decisions. We're trying to figure out where we go from here. Is that where our mind is at this time?
Yep.
Yep.
I just had a really fantastic trip, and I think I made a lot of progress going on that trip. So
good. Because you want to do something, I don't know, they tell me we want to do something big for the world, yes? We really want to bring in the energy of making change, and I feel like you've got the right people in your corner now as well, yes?
Yes, I think so.
I know so. Just keep networking. They're talking to me about love. You have a question about love, Angie, please?
I always have a question about love. I think I'm making a little progress in that area as well. I have a few.
You have a few possibilities, yes.
Yeah.
I see contestant number 1, contestant number 2, and contestant number 3. Yes. So we have possibilities. So I see 3 contestants in the dating game with Angie. And you know what? I know you don't know who I see as number 2, but I know that there's one where Spirit is putting number 2 is we feel that there is someone who is very sincere and very influential and very open-hearted in this experience, and you have to be patient with that. So if someone is expressing some of the qualities that you're looking for, we need to give it a little time for it to unfold because they seem tied up with a lot going on. Does that make any sense to you?
Yes.
Perfect. What's the burning question for me here tonight, Angie?
I just basically want to know if you've seen anything from like the trip that I just got home from on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there's movement in that direction of creating connections, and They're showing me money connected to this, so I feel like there'll be abundance to support the mission that you want to do and support the connections that you need to make. And further travel that's supposed to come from this trip is supposed to yield 2 other trips, is how I see it. Does that make sense to you, Angie?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, perfect. Well, Angie, we greatly appreciate your call, and we thank you, and we will talk to you again soon. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Okay, sounds good. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Sarah.
You're welcome. Bye. 866-972-7247. We've got some things coming up at the Expedito Enlightenment Center, so be sure to visit the ExpeditoEnlightenmentCenter.com or visit sarahspiritual.com. But this weekend, we're featuring astrology readings with Helena. She's going to be giving astrology readings on Friday and Saturday, and she'll also be there at the end of the month as well. So be sure to check out the website, the Expedito Enlightenment Center, if you'd like to have your astrology chart done and explore some more possibilities in your energy. Helena's going to be there working with people, so be sure to call the center and make your appointment, or you can register online. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, I've got a very special friend who's going to be visiting me here. Really excited to talk to you about her fabulous events that she's hosting every month, and they're actually not too far from the Expedito Enlightenment Center. And yours truly is going to be there on Tuesday. So if you want to hear all the stories and the facts and the history of who this fabulous person is, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Before I walk through the door, do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice?
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me. Every soul has its story, like a movie playing in a different theater. Characters, they change like water into wine, and everything comes when the stars align.
Yes, indeed. Everything comes when the stars align, and you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation, and you're really in for a treat because I have my friend Shari Hembree. And Shari and I have known each other for, I'm going to guess, about 10 plus years,
Yep.
right? About
Correct,
10
yeah.
plus years. And she is the author of The Journey of the Lightworker. And she just did another book launch, which was absolutely fabulous. I was really blessed to be there for that fabulous event. And she's also hosting monthly, right up the street from the Expedito Enlightenment Center on Okeechobee Boulevard, a Soul Connection monthly meeting to bring people together so that we can learn and grow and socialize. And it's a really fabulous event. So, Shari, let's talk about the event that's coming up, and let's give us some insight as to what inspired you to create this soul connection.
I, as you know, am a published author, so a lot of what I've been doing, I think, has been a little bit more online, which is a wonderful resource for connecting with people, but I was really missing that in-person connection. So I wanted to bring together like-minded people that could, as you mentioned, socialize, have a light dinner. It's a very inexpensive meeting at $25, but also it was to really connect with other people and once a month come together and talk about like what's going on in our life and just share. But then I wanted to create a community. And the community aspect is where each of us come together monthly and we help each other.
Correct.
Naturally, we will attract people to ourselves that would help your business, that would help other businesses, or people that would attend. So it was creating kind of that spiritual community, which I think has been a little bit lacking, and do that in person. And then it's also to give people the tools and resources to create in their life what it is they want to achieve.
And it's a really powerful way to connect people. And we all know since 2020, a lot of the connections seem to have been severed because we were all kind of passing each other at different spiritual events for a while there. And, you know, that's how I met you at one of the spiritual events. And it's just, of course, there's not much. And I even know that myself, when we have events at the center, you know, people are, it's almost like there's a hesitation to go back to the way we were. And I feel it's so important. And tonight's theme is about listening to your heart.
Right.
And when we connect people soul to soul, heart to heart, then we can create, because the presence of God is there. Because it says, when two or more of you together, so shall I be. So we're creating that frequency, and that inspires other people. And I know that last month, or just a few weeks ago actually, but you had on your very first Soul Connection meeting,
Yes.
you had our dear friend,
Yes. Leanne Summers.
Leanne Summers,
Yes.
and she was talking about the power of the the 7 rays and doing meditation and helping people center themselves. So what a great thing. And I know Leanne from all the other spiritual events. So it's like a coming home, right?
Absolutely.
It's a coming home. And it's also, a great way for other people with their talents to kind of just come together and say, hey, what are you doing? This is what I'm doing, right? And we have a lot of authors, and I know that there's the book couple was at your last event, and our Joy School.
Yes, Lisa McCourt.
Lisa McCourt was there. So, I got to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while. We all got to chat. And then if you don't know some of the people from way back when who've been in the spiritual community and we've been connecting, and you're new to this journey of spirituality, right? And we're going to talk about your journey of a light worker in just a minute. But the journey of spirituality, it's so important that you have that support and that you are aware of what other people are doing.
Absolutely.
And how other people are feeling, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's really interesting when you come together, and you kind of touched on this, and you do a meditation or you take a class or your upcoming wonderful session that we're getting ready to do, it amplifies the energy when we all come together. And it's so amazing what you can learn and achieve and how you can really move your life forward.
You can definitely move your life forward. And this was a vision of yours now for probably, I'm going to guess, because I know you and I talk offline, I'm going to guess for about 9 months. It was kind of like birthing a baby.
Yeah.
And then it was like, now's the time. And so I feel like now was the time, because it's really your time, Shari, to shine.
Thank you.
And it's your time to really promote your book that I know you put a lot of love and energy and time into. Yeah. So tell everyone what birthed the journey of a light worker, and I'll show them all while you talk. This is the beautiful book, and she just redid her cover, which is absolutely fabulous. So this energy of the journey of the Lightworker, what began this journey for you?
It was a very unusual spiritual experience that I had. I was in church Easter Sunday more than 8 years ago, and all of a sudden I started downloading this idea to write a novel. And I knew, and it came through very loudly, and I knew it would be somewhat similar to Elizabeth Gilbert's Eat, Pray, Love, but it's about a woman that goes on a journey across 2 continents, and along the way she discovers authenticity, self-love, and she finds her life's true purpose. So I finish the services, I go home, it's still kind of flowing through me. I write up my notes, but there was one major hiccup in this whole scenario. I never in a million years thought I would ever write a novel. And if you were to choose one thing that I thought I was the least best at doing, that was probably going to be it. So now I've been given this inspiration from God, and I have to decide, what am I going to do with this? Can I do this? And my fear kind of overwhelmed me. And it's funny that tonight you talk about heart. I took a little bit of time, I kind of digested it, and then I realized that when I got out of my head, which was my fear, and I got into my heart, the novel would just flow through me. I would know every day exactly what I was supposed to write. And so it was very much a almost miraculous transformation of how I approached things.
And you channeled. I
did.
For lack of a better word, we're going to say the Holy Spirit.
I did. I totally channeled this book, even though that might sound a little strange. And it's funny because even when I read the book, it's almost like someone else wrote it somehow or another. It's kind of a strange, like I co-authored it somehow.
Yes, you were the conduit. And that's an everyday feeling for me. So
yes, yeah. It was new to me at that time.
Welcome to my world. I kind of know what that feeling is like.
Right.
But it allows you to be the heartfelt observer of something that is transforming you and has the potential to transform all those who pick up this book and read it.
Absolutely. And that's the purpose of the book. It really is about a woman that is living the American dream. So she has it all. She's got the great career, she's working a lot of hours, the beautiful, attractive boyfriend, the house in San Francisco. but she's not very happy. And as it turns out, she's really living not the American dream, but the American illusion of what it is we think we're supposed to have to be happy. So the universe kind of sees her life and comes along and kind of rips the rug out from underneath her. And within a day's period, everything is gone. Her job, the boyfriend turns out to be kind of shallow. And then there is a death in her family, and she's propelled forward on an unexpected journey of self-discovery. But as she goes through this process, she really becomes more heart-centered, and she learns what really resonated with her when she was a child. And then it becomes this unwinding process, and at the end of the novel, she creates a whole new life that she never dreamed was even possible.
Which is exactly how spirit and the universe work. Right.
Yes.
Because as children, we know exactly who we are.
Yeah.
We become conditioned by experiences, some well-meaning, some not so well-meaning. We develop a belief system as to how life is supposed to be.
Yep.
And we just kind of step into that mold, or a very popular word now is that matrix. And we continue on the path. And anyone who's ever had that moment where your whole life got shook up, and most people in a spiritual journey will have some pretty horrific stories as to how they got where they are. But it seems horrific because everything we know crumbles. But it's really to remove, correct, all of that external facade so that it's just our bare heart and soul.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's a powerful tool, and it's a fabulous book. And where can they get this book, Journey of the Lightworker?
It's available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. If you go to my website, ShariAHembree.com, there's links to both of it. It's actually on sale on Amazon. Pretty significantly, about 40% off right now.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. And I know we're going to have some copies at the center soon. So we definitely, you can pick one up in the next week or so to come. And so I'm going to see you Tuesday night. I'm really excited.
I'm excited.
We're going to really delve into a breakthrough. Now, here on the show, we've talked a lot about integrating our little ones and not feeling good enough and feeling separate from life and wanting to make those changes on our journey. And we've also talked about, manifesting. And so I'm going to take everyone on Tuesday night after we have our little social hour of gathering together at 6:30, at 7:30, and then we're going to kind of pop into, Shari and I are going to kind of speak to everyone, and then I'm going to take us on a journey about how to manifest, but then I'm going to show everyone what they want to manifest and why it's not happening the way they want. And we're going to go into everybody's little soul, everyone who's there. We're going to take you on a journey to discover what's separating you from your joy, separating you from your abundance, separating you from the love of your life, separating you from knowing who you are. We're going to go on that journey. And then after that, I imagine we're going to take some questions from the audience. And much like we do here on the radio show, we're going to answer some questions, not just about what we presented, but we're going to answer some, or I'll answer the questions. Shari's like, I'm sitting there, Sarah. I'm not going to answer the questions, but I'm going to answer questions. Whatever's going on in someone's life, I'll give some insight. And tell everyone where we're going to have this fabulous event.
So it will be June 11th, which is Tuesday evening, 6:30 to 8:30 in the evening. It's only $25. It'll be very close to the Expedito Enlightenment Center on Okeechobee Boulevard. It's actually at Palm Beach Advanced Aesthetics. They very generously have donated their space. Beautiful location, facility on the inside. Parking is there in the general area. And the best deal you're going to get for $25. Dinner includes a light dinner and Sarah as my speaker.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. We're really excited. And it's those of you who are here on Facebook and on YouTube, we've got it up on the screen. We can put it back up on the screen again for us if you can. And it's this Tuesday night, June 11th. We really would love to see you at the Palm Beach Advanced Aesthetics. And where do they go to buy their tickets?
Actually, if you go to my website, which would be ShariAHembree.com/attend. But if you go on my social media, any of my social media, Facebook, Instagram, all of that will be printed on there.
And you can also go to sarahspiritual.com as well as the Expedito Enlightenment Center.com. And we have Shari's link there. You click, it'll take you exactly where you need to go and register. And be sure to register. We want to have a nice turnout and really kick off this summer of spirituality, right? Over at the Expedito Center, we're having summer school, and we started that last night with our candle class, and then I'm going to pop across the street this Tuesday, and we're going to have a spiritual evolutionary connection of the souls. So I'm really excited, Shari.
Oh, I'm excited, Sarah. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure. My pleasure. So everyone, please go to Amazon.com, pick up Shari Hembree's book, The Journey of the Lightworker, and pick that up. And maybe if you have a friend on a spiritual journey and you know they're going through a lot right now, which I know a lot of spiritual people going through a lot, you might want to pick up 2 copies since it's on sale, because, hey, one for you and one for a friend. I think it would make a perfect gift. And we look forward to seeing you Tuesday night, June 11th. And I know that if you continue to follow Shari Hembree on social media as well as her website, you'll know all of the upcoming events, because on the second Tuesday of every month, we're having a soul connection, and you don't want to miss it. Shari, thank you so much for taking the time to come out and be here.
Thank you, Sarah. Much love and blessings to you.
Many blessings to you. Thank you so much. Everyone, stay with us. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors. When we come back, I know we've got a full board of questions, and we're going to get to your questions. And we are going to, of course, visit our friends on Facebook and YouTube. So stay with us. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me.
As you know that you know me, I am Sarah Spiritual, and you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. And we got a lot coming up. We've got a lot coming up at the Expedito Enlightenment Center. As you know, I'm going to be with Shari Hembree this Tuesday night. Go to sarahspiritual.com, buy your tickets. I would love to see you there. We get to chat a little bit, get to have a bite to eat, a little light snack, and then we're going to just break through some barriers and just really shift your consciousness. And then the following week at the Expedito Enlightenment Center, are you a spiritual person that feels like you're absorbing a lot of other people's energy? Are you tired? Do you poop out at parties? Do you feel like, oh, I'm doing the I Love Lucy Vitamin Vegemin girl? That's a commercial that Lucille Ball filmed, but I've got my own Vitamita Vegemin, and my Vitamita Vegemin energy is really all about, I got to teach you how to seal off your energy and how to be the empath that you are and not pick up other people's energy and how to survive in today's world. We've got a class, the Spiritual Person's Survival Guide, and we're going to teach you how to handle these unprecedented times. There's a lot coming at us. There's so much coming out at us from the media and so many different topics and talks and opinions, and we need to just stay true to in our own sovereign being and be true to ourselves and centered, and we need to remain spiritually in alignment and not pick up other people's energy. I'm going to show you how on June 18th at the Expedito Enlightenment Center. You can go to sarahspiritual.com and be sure to register. That class is only $15. And then we've got another class coming up. I believe in prayer. I believe in the power of Psalms, and I believe that when you start a conversation, a dialogue with God, God never fails us, and God will always answer our prayers. So I want you to see me at the Expedito Enlightenment Center on June 25th. That's when we're going to teach you the power of the prayers and Psalms. So we're going to teach you how to use your prayer, how to strategize the energy of prayer. There is a right way and a not so correct way to pray, because sometimes we're taught to ask God, please help me. But God wants you to step into your power, and God wants you to be still and listen in your heart and get the messages of what you need to do to facilitate yourself in the asking. It is always given, but God will show you the clues to get you there in your state of prayer, in your state of meditation, and in the art of asking for the universe to support you, because everything that you desire is already ready for you. we end up blocking ourselves. So if you want to know how to unblock your road and tune in and tap into your prayers with the use of Psalms and prayer, then visit me at the Expedito Enlightenment Center. Again, go to sarahspiritual.com. Well, we're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. And I've got to pop into Boca. And I've got Charlotte. And Charlotte is in Boca. Miss Charlotte, how are you tonight?
Sarah, I'm so happy to listen to your show. And
Thank
I
you.
love when you pop up on Facebook, because in my crazy work day, when you pop up, now I know that you're on. I could pull over to the side and listen to you. So thank you. It's been a while since we have spoken.
Well, I'm so glad.
Goodness,
I'm
a
glad
lot
I
has
pop
happened.
up. Yes. And what is the
And I want to
question?
thank you first
Yes.
for helping me. It was quite a while ago, and you had said that there was going to be a move in my life, and certain things were going to just really come together. And at the time, well, it took a while, and just recently, a couple of those things did come together, and
Good.
thank you for your insight, and it gave me a sense of calm. But now I'm at the point where, as my brother would say, life is a series of new beginnings. I'm 69, I'm going to be 70 this summer, and I still work full time. Everything is still up in the air with my life. And when does it begin? I don't want it to be too late. There was somebody that I know that just passed, who was like a friend, wife of an old friend.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, I feel like I'm surrounded by things I don't want to be around. And I feel like I reach out to my friends, the ones who live here in Florida, and they just don't respond. I'm just taking for granted, and I wind up alone a lot. So when does it all begin and be happy and the money stays where it needs to be? Because I have to spend a lot of it, unfortunately, in the next month.
Yes, well, the money thing is always an interesting thing, right? So that's part of our belief barrier. There's always more than
Yeah, that's
enough money,
dental.
but you know, if we don't have, and then we hold on to the fact that we don't have enough, and that we have to work hard to get what we want, we keep continuing that story, right? So saying I am abundant beyond measure, money flows to me with ease and grace, everything I desire is accessible, and I am transitioning from a state of feeling stuck and stagnant into an abundant, free-flowing state because I am recognizing that I am worthy. See, sometimes we don't think we're worthy, and then when friends start to shun us kind of, or they're not busy, they're too busy for us, or they're too caught up in their wah drama, right? They got drama. And their own issues of aging in the process, they begin to retreat. A lot of people, when they're faced with things in life, they begin to retreat, they begin to step back. And so what I want you to know is that this year, when your birthday comes, it's a year of your soul. It is a year of your true soul purpose and meaning, soul energy coming to you. Your friend who passed, believe it or not, her energy is very much still with you. I feel as if you're kind of talking to her and making this sense of like, you know, it's almost too soon for her to have been gone. And it was also scary
She and I
because
really didn't know each other well. It was her husband that I knew from the day. But the few times that I met her, I felt a beautiful soul.
Beautiful soul, beautiful connection. Definitely connected to you at this moment, maybe because you've been speaking of her and just kind of feeling that energy. But as you start to talk to her, her energy, which isn't quite settled into the other side, is just very much around you. So just know that and honor that. And know that you have a lot of support from the other side in making these transitions. And this new beginning for you is a soul-centered beginning. And I know that we're working, and I know we've got bills to pay, and I hear that song, She Works Hard for the Money, right? So we got our money things going on. But I feel as if next year brings you a little more financial freedom, a sense of belonging, partnership. I feel like you're just settling into some of the moves that you've made. And so we've got to get things settled, and then we'll attract like a new community. And I want you to ask the universe, I am the woman who, you're going to speak it to the universe, I am the woman who is attracting people who who are available to have fun, joyous, harmonious experiences, share time, share intellect, and who are still willing to live. They want to live, right? And they want to enjoy life.
Absolutely.
And because you've got that love and joy, and it's infectious when you're not worrying in your head, that is, okay? But it's infectious. When you've got that love and joy, you then begin to attract those right people in your path, right? So it's like getting out of the circle. If someone doesn't return your call, then hashtag you're done, okay? We're going to attract new people into our life. We're going to bring in the energy of life and love so that you can feel that you are part. You want to feel as if you belong, right? That's what's really important for you, feeling as if you belong, yes?
That I'm worthy of belonging. Right?
Worthy of belonging, yes, and that you do belong, right? It's really important for you to know that.
Yes.
And this year opens up that change into next year, so just be open for that. So just trust the process.
Will. And the people like you helping myself and everybody else, and our buddies Dawn and Freddie, who are just a squeeze and a hug. I love them both. Yes. I feel like I'm ahead of the game when I have people like the three of you in my life. Thank you.
Well, it's our pleasure. It absolutely is our pleasure. And, you know, you have a story to tell. You really do, Charlotte.
Yes.
So maybe start recording your story, because it's definitely, well, you know, Shari just wrote a novel, so you might have a novel coming out too any day now. So, you know, start talking into your phone and reminiscing about some of the crazy things that you've gone through, and maybe it'll turn into a story for you. You never know.
And in the midst of it all, I just want my brother to be well and finally accept me in his world. Because if I was his friend, we would have been best friends. As his sister,
Oy vey.
Very trying,
Oy
and I really
yes,
feel that
I know.
something is bringing us back.
Well, what is your brother's birthday?
I feel like
what is his
something.
birthday?
May 21st.
Okay. All right. So let me
1953.
tell you this. You two are actually both on the same type of energy journey about stepping into your soul. So this is a time for both your souls to unify and for you to fulfill the second half of your soul contract. I've got to go for now. I trust that I've been of service to you, Charlotte. Thank you so much for listening to the show and giving us a call.
God bless you, and thank you for your help and what you do for everyone.
My pleasure. Bye for now.
Be well. Bye.
Thank you. 866-972-7247. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah here on the Oldie Station, and we have Stacy Holler coming up. I told you we've got a jam-packed night, and Stacy, I think she's going to rock our worlds because it's June, the planets are going through changes, and I don't know what's going to happen next, but each astrology sign is definitely going to be going through a metamorphosis, and she's going to tell us how to make all of these changes work for us. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be. 'Cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Car Accident Referral Services Studios. In an accident, why let the lawyers take 33 to 40%? With cars, their network of attorneys will take only 25%. 833-504-CARS. That's 833-504-2277. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canales Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussion to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another hour to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHs. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
The world is It's just not easy to be who we want to be. 'Cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart, the ways that worked before.
And we are back here live on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. And we've got some conversations to be had because tonight we're going to delve into what the stars and the moon and the planets have in store for us. And we've got to take a look at what Stacey Holler has to say. So I've got my dear friend Stacey Holler joining us right now, and we know the planets are getting ready to do some shaking up. And I need to hear from Stacey. What's going on? Stacey Holler, how are you tonight?
I'm happy to be here with you, as always.
Good.
And it's the month of Gemini. Happy birthday, Sarah Spiritual. What a great show you had last week, and all the Geminis.
Yes, Gemini season.
So we got a lot going on this month, and everybody wants to know what's happening, especially when we hear that Saturn might be in the mix, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking there's a shakeup. I'm thinking there's some thwarting going on. I'm thinking it could get icky for a minute. So please, what's going to happen?
Well, let's take a look. Because, you know, as we look at all of our signs and our rising signs, and we want to see what's the energies going on this month. So tomorrow we have a new moon in Gemini. So we'll take a look at where that is in our lives, because that will help us envision where we want the next 6 months to go. So we'll take a look at that. And then there's a full moon in Capricorn on the 21st. And that's the time that we're going to see how are those New Year's resolutions that we made. Because this is a 6-month cycle of our New Year's resolutions. So we'll see how we're doing there and what might pop up on that day for us. And then I think we need to pay a little attention to a Saturn return. And that is happening at the end of the month on the 29th. I know when people hear Saturn, it's like, uh-oh, what is that all about? But actually, when we talk about retrogrades, I always say it's the way the universe is telling us we need to pause and take a look. And I know that everybody wants to know, well, what will that mean? And what is that about Saturn? So Saturn is known as the Lord of Karma. It tells us where our responsibilities lie, and it helps us bear our karma so we can pass life's tests. We all need Saturn in our lives. That's how we make things happen. That's our responsibilities. And it sounds scary, but like everything else, it really is for our greater good. So we're going to take a look at where your Saturn retrograde is happening, because that's going to show you what you need to pay attention to, where you need to change your weaknesses into strengths, and where you need to get help. And just to top it off, Sarah, it's all in Pisces, which we talk about as the cleanup sign. So we'll take a look, and knowledge is power, and we know where our energies are and where we need to go. That'll help us get through the month, right?
You're making it sound like it's going to be an icky month, Stacey Holler. Oh, Lord.
It's not written. No, I wouldn't say icky, but I would say maybe let's pay attention.
All right, we're paying attention.
I think you would all agree that we need to pay attention, but what I loved about your topic tonight, that I talk about in every one of my sessions, that we don't make our contract with God to come into this life without bringing in tools to be successful. And the greatest tool we have is our heart and our gut and our intuition, right?
Correct.
Everything you were telling everybody tonight. So no matter how rough the energies may be, all the answers to keep steering us straight is to listen to our intuition, because I don't think anybody ever went wrong listening to their intuition, but I could raise my hand amongst many of us who find out what happens when we don't listen, right?
Yes, we all have those moments.
For sure. So, should we take a look at everybody's sign and see what we should pay attention to?
Yeah, I think we need to rock around the astrological clock, so let's get a ticking, Stacy.
Let's get on board. All right, so we're going to start with Aries. And for my Aries friends, tomorrow's new moon is in your third house, and that's about communications. So it's a new cycle for you to start a new project. Any ideas you have for a book or a blog or new plans for short trips, this could be what you should be envisioning tomorrow. Now, the full moon for you is in Capricorn in your 10th house, and that's all about career. So if your New Year's resolutions had to do with your career and your professional life, this may be a turning point for you on this full moon. Now, your Saturn retrograde is in your 12th house. That's what's behind closed doors. That means you're going to be doing some healing on a very internal, spiritual level. So go to a healer, have a therapist help you. Saturn tells us where we could get our help. And you're working on cleaning up and changing old patterns. Now, Taurus, tomorrow's new moon is in your second house of money. So it's a good time to start planning new ways to bring in money, new projects you might want to start, and it could be a fresh start for finances. Your full moon is in the 9th house, travel, study, media, new ventures. So if you were planning a trip back in January, this might be the time that you actually get to go. Now, your Saturn in retrograde is in your house of friends, associations, but it's also technology. So, Taurus, don't jump into any new technology right away. Check your security. Go slowly. And everybody, this Saturn retrograde goes until November 15th, by the way. So don't be launching any new tech programs. Now, Gemini, happy birthday. Your new moon tomorrow is in your first house. It's your personal new year. You're kicking off a brand new 6-month cycle for your own personal goals. So set your clear intentions. Your full moon is in the 8th house. That's shared resources, ventures with partners, money-making deals, real estate deals, or you might just get an inheritance that day. Now, your Saturn retrograde is in your house of career. So, Geminis, you need to take a look and really start thinking about your career and your plans. And if you need to get help in that regard, this is a time to get help in setting your goals and pay attention to the details. Cancer, the new moon tomorrow is in your 12th house. You especially, you're very intuitive, Cancer, and you're going to be really intuitive on this new moon. So be listening to your gut feelings. You're in clearing house mode. So meditation would be great for you. Your full moon is in the 7th house, relationships, committed relationships. Maybe now you'll see a change in one of those. It could be the should I stay or should I go moment. And your Saturn retrograde is in your 9th house, and that's the house of expansion and trips. So I wouldn't necessarily launch the trip, but it's a great planning time. Maybe you want to think about returning to school. Time to do your research and planning. Now, Leo, the new moon tomorrow is in your house of friends and groups. It's your network. It's your tech projects. So what do you envision for the next 6 months? Who do you want to what teams do you want to put together to achieve your goals? And your full moon is in the 6th house of everyday life, of organization, of health. So now is the time for you on this full moon, Leo, to get that new habits in order and make that doctor's appointment. And it's also the house of pets. So maybe somebody's going to take an astray that day. Now, the Saturn retrograde for you is in your house of shared resources. So for you, it's planning time, consolidating time, pay off those debts. Virgo, the new moon for you is in your 10th house of career. So you need to be envisioning about a promotion if that's what you want. What do you need to put in place? You got to plant the seeds if you want to find a new job. Now is the time to do it for you. And your full moon in the 5th house is in your house of romance and children. So at that full moon, maybe you want to make something permanent. Maybe you decide it's not something you want to make permanent. Or maybe, since it's the house of children, you hear about a pregnancy or someone has an adoption. Now, your Saturn retrograde is in your 7th house of committed relationships, so you need to pay attention that aspect of your life and really consider what's been looming out there and what you need to pay attention to, whether it's in a committed marriage relationship or in your business relationship. Now's the time to look at those unresolved issues. Now, Libra, your new moon tomorrow is in your 9th house of travel and study, media. What do you want to learn? What do you want to take to the next level? It's also the media, so it's time to plan that blog or podcast. Your full moon is in the 4th house of home and family. So great time for family gatherings. Have that barbecue in your backyard. Maybe it's time to plan a move or a relo or a renovation, but something might change in your living situation. And your Saturn retrograde is in your 6th house, so that's health. And that's everyday life. So you need to look at your routines and your self-care and what you need to get rid of in your everyday life to make room for what you need to be doing. Now, Scorpio, the new moon for you tomorrow is in your 8th house. For you, it is shared resources and your intimate relationships. So you might be thinking about making something official, but think it through over the next 6 months of what you want that close, intimate relationship to be. And your full moon is in your house of communication. So if you've been working on a project in January that you were envisioning, now could be a real turning point for you. What were you planning in January to happen? So it's also your neighborhood and siblings. So you might see something happen around those areas on that full moon. Now, your Saturn retrograde is in your 5th house of children and romance. So take a look at that love affair. Is it working for you? Do you have projects that you need to kind of reconsider? And yes, Scorpions, you might have some old lover reappear. Doesn't mean you have to go for it, but they may come back. Now, Sag, the new moon is in your 7th house of committed relationships. So maybe you want to make a partnership official. So take a look at what you want to happen in those relationships. You might meet somebody, if you're single, Sag, around that new moon, or a new business relationship could start for you. Your full moon is in the 2nd house of money. So what were you envisioning in January? Were you thinking about how to make new money? Something could be a turning point for you now. Good time for your finance planning. And your Saturn retrograde is in home and family. So you need to take a look at what do you have to fix in that area of your life. You need to slow down and make some plans. You need to breathe and make some space. Capricorn, the new moon tomorrow, 6th house, work, health, even pets. Look at your habits. What do you want your health to look like over the next 6 months? So you need to get to the gym if you need to and prioritize. Your full moon is in your 1st house. It's all about you. What is your passion? The next full moon's also in Capricorn. So this is very powerful for you, Capricorns. So particularly for you, what did you envision back on January 11th? It could come together now for you. And your Saturn retrograde is in your 3rd house, which is your neighborhood, your siblings, as well as communications. Maybe you want to return to school and learn something new or resurrect an old project. Aquarius, your new moon in the 5th house tomorrow, romance. Maybe that fling might turn into something real. It's a great fun night, a great date night, and if you're single, get out. And your full moon in the 12th, that's meditation time. That's inner work on the full moon. That's closures. You're going to need to start releasing what you need to release so you can move on. And your Saturn retrograde is in your house of money and finance. So you need to kind of stop and plan new ways of making money. Or what's the next step in your career? Or time to reevaluate your finances. And Pisces, the new moon for you tomorrow is in home and family. So what are you thinking about? A renovation? Are you thinking about moving? Now's the plan. You might just want to redecorate. Your full moon is in your house of friends and groups. So something could definitely come to fruition for a collaboration you've been working on, or you might just meet the new group of people that's going to get you to your goals. And your Saturn retrograde is in your 1st house, so you need to look inside and see what are your real passions, what are your plans for personal growth. If you need a coach, if you need training, if you need a spiritual advisor, time to get what you need. So, Sarah, it's really not that crazy if we all kind of take a pause and look at what we need to look at, because the whole point really is for us to grow and move on and leave room for new things. It's not always fun, but it is for our greater good, and your message was really clear tonight. The best way to navigate it is listen to your heart, listen to your intuition. Isn't that always the plan?
It is the plan, but we all know when things are moving and shaking all around us, it can be challenging to remind our human self that we have to go down deep within our heart and really pay attention. So, Stacy, let's just address this Saturn thing one more time. It's going to be retrograde till when?
November 15th.
So a lot of these things that we're talking about in each individual person's house, it will be like not just this month, but over a period of time between now and November, that some things can crop up for us to take a look at, to review, to adjust if necessary. Is that correct?
Yes, and if you think about the purpose of this in our lives, it's to point out to us this is an area that you need to pay attention to in your evolution to attain perfection as we evolve through our lives. So that's not going to happen in a day. It's going to point to that house and make us stop and say, okay, I need some help here. This is where I need to address it. Saturn is the energy that rules mentors and coaches and where we need help. Mm-hmm. So it's the unresolved issues. Now, they're unresolved because we kind of don't like to pay attention to them. And it's very easy ignoring them, not that they go away. And at some point in all of our journeys here, we have what's called Saturn returns, where in our own personal birth chart, Saturn comes back to the same place where we were born and knocks on the door and says, so how you doing on this path? Absolutely. And by the way, you're really not doing so good. So I'm going to shake you up for your greater good so you can evolve. So, yeah, it's a mixed bag. It's not easy. But God and our guides and our angels have our back.
They do. They absolutely do. And I know we're going to be kicking off quite a few retrogrades as the months come and progress as we come to the close of the year. So I know you're going to have a lot to report on retrogrades when we come back next month as things are kind of heating up in the astrological skies. But as always, Stacy, we greatly appreciate your insight. And those of you who are looking to have your birth chart done, Stacy is available. And you can contact her at destinyinthestars.com. And there you have the opportunity to register for your reading. And she can give you quite a lot of insight as to how all of these planets are impacting you and also what some of your important lessons and experiences are meant to be in this lifetime. And if you ask me, we all need that insight. Stacy, we appreciate your taking the time to be with us again for our wonderful astrological report.
Oh, my pleasure. I love being with you and look forward to next month.
We look forward to next month. Thank you so much, Stacy Holler at destinyinthestars.com. Have a great night, Stacy. Bye for now.
Thank you, Sarah. Bye-bye.
Bye. 866-972-7247. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and I've got some people to get to, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your song? Because you know.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Do you know me? I am Sarah Spiritual, and you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation, right here on the Oldie Station. And we just love being a part of all these radio stations that broadcast out here into South Florida. We are so appreciative of all of you who share the show on your Facebook pages. We appreciate those of you who follow us on YouTube. And we really appreciate when you tell a friend to tune in. So keep telling a friend. We're going to have some big announcements as to what we're going to do for our 15-year anniversary. And I really hope you're going to come. I really want to have you there. And we're going to do everything we can to make it easy for you to come. So keep listening. And if you're not following Sarah Spiritual on social media, if you're on the Instagram page, on YouTube, on Facebook, and if you're not following my newsletter, go to sarahspiritual.com and register for our newsletter, because you want to be in it to be a part of this experience, and we would love to have you celebrate with us 15 years of all of you, because essentially you are the show. And speaking of 15 years, I have a caller on the line who has been listening for all of the 15 years. So yes, go team. We've got Steve in Broward. Steve, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Steve. Thank you so much, and thank you for following the show. And it's always a pleasure to have you here. So what is your question for us?
Yeah, I have something very specific and, quite serious. It involves an occupant of the house, not a human being, but a pet. Mm-hmm. And recently, this pet has been diagnosed with something very severe. And so the only way I can contribute to his well-being, because I'm not a veterinarian, I'm just an ordinary guy,
is energy.
The only way I can really contribute is by sending the dog energy. You know
Correct.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, of course.
And And my big question is this: is the animal receiving it? Because I've never sent energy to anybody. So I'm in practice mode. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I can give him is intent.
Yes. You can give him the stream of consciousness that is the divine that flows through you, and it'll make it even easier for you to send the energy, for you to direct the energy. If you are looking at a picture of the dog, that will help you send the energy, or visualizing the dog, but looking at a picture helps us develop the visualization. You send the energy to exactly wherever the dog is in misalignment and disease. And yes, they tell me, yes, the dog is receiving the energy. And this is something that you began recently, correct?
Within the last 7 days, yes.
Okay.
I've been 7 days putting hands on him every day as frequently as I possibly can, simply because the woman I live with, she's totally distraught. But me, not so much. You know, I'm level-headed, and I'm just trying to just put my hands and send whatever I can to him. You know, I don't know if it's going to heal or not, but, you know, I'm trying.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say, I don't know. Okay? You are the conduit of energy. So as a person who is sending energy with the divine light and love, you see every cell in that dog's body restored to its original divine perfection, if it is for the best and the highest good of that dog to be whole and healed, or to have more time on earth. We do that. That's how we do it. God is in control, but if God chooses you to send energy, and God chooses to allow that energy to flow through at full, amped up divine essence, then it's going to infuse that dog with energy, and that dog will have all the energy necessary that if it chooses that it wants to stay for your partner and stay longer, it will. Okay?
That's what I wanted to ask you, because I knew a person such as yourself could give me proper instruction because no one else could. That's why I waited so long to call, because I just wanted to get guidance on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And to say this, I am the authority of God in motion. Therefore, all the energy that flows through me is divine, and I am the healer. Now you say I am because you're activating the power of God. I am the healer of this animal. I am. It's not your ego. It's not your personality. It's your divine presence acting in you. So you're activating your divine presence to be the only energy acting in and around everything you do. So if you're activating your divine presence, the personality of Steve, the guy who wonders, am I healing? Am I really healing? Am I really doing anything? That is not in the picture. You got it?
Okay.
All right. Keep us posted on this pup experience.
This is my first attempt, so I figured I better clue you in.
Thank you. Well, what is the dog's name? What is the dog's name?
Tashi.
Say it again. Tashi?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we will send Tashi energy as well. And I have quite a few people listen to the show, many of my students who are Reiki masters and healers as well. So I know if we all send Tashi energy, Tashi will have the strength to realign and be healed. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
We know the angels are with you, Steve. Thank you so much. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
866-972-7247. I've got to go to Facebook. I've got to see my friends on YouTube. I've got so much to catch up on, but we're coming. And if you're on hold, don't hang up. And if you haven't picked up the phone, pick up the phone and join us. But let's pull a Facebook question. Let's pull a YouTube question. Let's see what's going on in social media. What do we got going on? We got Penny. Saw a feather, picked it up, then saw two cardinals, male and female. What does that mean? Well, it's good to know the male and female cardinal are together. That's always a good sign. They represent unity, they represent love, they represent connection from the other side, and it is showing you that there are two, not one, but two people on the other side, Penny, that are with you, protecting you, and guiding you, and that they send you much love. So this is a very positive sign, Penny, and it's not one we all get to see, especially to see two cardinals together after finding a feather. So there are messages from heaven, and they're letting you know that they are there with you in the energy of love. Thank you, Penny Colecchio, for your Facebook question. Let's take another question from Facebook and YouTube. Let's see who else we have on our list here, because I know we had quite a few questions here. Oh, yes, birthday time. And Dina Sagarisi says to me, what is on the horizon for my birthday? Well, Dina, let's take a look here. First thing that I'm made aware of is really an interesting thing, because you're in this energy of kind of breaking out of the routines. It is really about you kind of changing up something in how you work. It is about really digging down deep in relations and relationships and really valuing friends and family. It is a really important time for you to tune into this energy of love and trust that everything that is love is going to stay, and everything that is not in alignment with love is going to reveal itself, so that we can know what we are going to kind of choose to not spend our energy on, not build up our intentions upon. We're going to just move ourselves in the direction of new things. What's on the horizon? Just being inspired, stepping out of the routine, opening up to new possibilities, and really delving into anything that's inspired around the energy of love and relationships and family. And know that your mother's energy is very much with you, Dina, and she is supporting you in all that you do and in the quest for love and family. Thank you so much, Dina, for your Facebook question. And of course, we wish you a very happy birthday. We know it'll be coming up shortly. Thank you so much. We'll take another one from Facebook and YouTube. Who else do we have? Okay, we have Alana. Alana says thank you so much. She wishes me a belated happy birthday, so thank you, Alana. She's wondering how my grandmother's transition is going. She passed in early May. Your grandmother on the other side, let me take a look here. Interesting. So when I look at her energy, it's interesting that there's so much transition going on around you. I do know that her energy was in a place of not wanting to go but ready to go. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but there was this energy of really being not wanting to go because there are people that she would miss and want to stay for, but she was ready to go and she was ready to connect to the other side. And to those who have passed before her, but she is in transition, so the transition is moving forward for her. She is of a higher frequency now. She should be making contact with you directly in the energy soon, so look for those signs from her. But she will be in peace, and she is in a smooth transition. And we thank you so much for your question and your birthday wishes for me. Thank you so much, Alana. We're going to take another question from Facebook and YouTube before we go back to our phone lines. And our phone lines are 866-972-7247. And who else do we have on Facebook or YouTube? Anyone else there for us? All right, we're going to pop back, and we're going to go to Jamila. Jamila in Chicago on our phone lines. Jamila, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you, Sarah? Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Good to connect with you. This is a powerful time for you. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready to network, meet new people, make new connections, make the changes, choose a different path for yourself so that you can feel empowered, because this is what you're meant to do at this time. Does this make any sense to you? Is this the feeling that you've had?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm definitely in that space right now. I have a specific question because last time I talked to you, you mentioned my love life. And I want to give you my birthday and his birthday and let you do your thing. My birthday is 7/26, and his is 7/29.
7/29.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what year is he born?
He's 3 years older than me.
All right, so that puts him at 87. So when I look at where he is in his journey, he's really looking
No. Let me correct you. Hold on. He'll be 36, and I'll be 34. So he's 2 years older than
2 years. All right, so it's 88. Right. Okay. So this year he's looking to create expansion in his life. He's kind of expanding his consciousness. He's doing a lot of growing emotionally, personally, and even in career. I feel like he's ramping up, getting ready to make a big, major change in his life. I feel like there are things he's tired of that he wants to change, and he's trying to figure out how to do that. He's very proud and direct in what he wants, and so he kind of holds that energy. He's not the easiest person. He's a great person, but he's not the easiest person. Who's doing the reading here? Listen to me. Listen, you ask a question. Sarah Spiritual is answering the question. Okay? He is a complicated person, but he's a great person. And when you're on team him, you're part of his team. When you're not in his team, you're not in his team. For him right now, it is really all about him. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way. It's just there's lots that he has to work on. He does want primary partnership. He does want relationship. He is looking for future. He does have feelings for you. You just got to let the man do what he got to do. Do you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. Then when I take him out of this year into next year, he's really in a better place to really help things come off the ground so that you can get everything you want in this relationship.
Yes, exactly.
Okay? So that is his intention. He is a man of his word. He is also a man who enjoys his own personal time and space. He does not like drama. And he has been down that drama road before. So he's also testing, this is what they're telling me, testing you. So you have to really kind of listen to what he says and just not feed into anything that he thinks is going to get a reaction that he's used to from someone else. Does that make any sense to you?
Understood. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
But good, solid person. He's got to get his ducks in a row. Once the ducks are in a row, then things can really work out for the two of you.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Glad to make this connection with you again, and keep us posted. Bye for now. All right, bye. 866-972-7247. We're going to go back to our phone lines in just a minute. For this minute, I've got to pop on and take a commercial. And when I come back, we got to go to California. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual ritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me.
Because you know me, I am Sarah Spiritual, and we are so glad that you're listening to us here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and we do hope you join us next Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time until 9 p.m. We're going to talk about the spiritual topics that Spirit guides us to talk about, and of course answer your questions. So I've got to go back to my phone lines, and I've got a caller in California. We've got Dee on the line. Dee, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, Dee. Good to make this connection with you again. And we know there's always an interesting experience going on with you, Dee. So what's your burning question for us tonight?
Let's see. Your opening was pretty spot on with just the emotions and the feelings of basically how to get my questions answered and where are things going. Like 1 minute I'm in my head about it, and, there's voices and everything channeling through. And I don't really know what is what. And then I go into my heart, and my heart is basically picking many of the doors. And I went on a trip to Texas right after the last time we spoke. I didn't mention that to you, but I kind of forgot. And I went for Mother's Day for the week. And it was in a good intention. When I get back, I had like a different feeling in my heart about the whole experience.
Right.
And the connection to that family member. And I guess the question is I actually don't know how to go about any of it, or if I just know anything pertinent to it, but I hear what the chatter is around me. I don't know if it's when you go see a person and you think that you're doing a good deed, and you come back and you feel like maybe that wasn't in my best interest of going there, because I think my intentions for my life is not really their intentions.
But that's okay. That's okay. You went with your heart and you followed your prompting to go visit. Now you know where you stand, right? And you know that they don't see you as you are seeing you. So that means that you've evolved and your paths are splitting, going two different ways. And it doesn't matter how close this individual is to you, we still have our own unique paths. And they're allowed to be on their path and have their opinion, but their opinion does not define you. But you needed to go and see that you have elevated spiritually. And at this moment, even though they're close in proximity or energy, I should say, of their positioning in your connection of family, that you're no longer a vibrational match. And the fact that you're no longer a vibrational match just lets you know that you have evolved and you're breaking some of the chains of the generations of how people behaved and how we are expected to behave. I don't know if you remember when I was talking to Shari a few minutes ago about her book and the journey of the woman, how everything she thought she knew got stripped from her, right? And how we're all kind of led to lead our life based on how it's expected with that.
I resonated really well.
I'm sure you did, right? So that is what you got to see. And when the universe shows you it, I say this to you and everyone listening, please, people, believe the universe, because otherwise you're going to be like the dog that goes back to the owner who gives you the cookie and treats you nice for a minute, and then you get smacked on the nose and you got to go back to your corner. We don't need to do that anymore.
Here's the catch-22.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's the catch-22 on that. That person right now is really kind of financially helping me out in a moment where I'm trying to figure out how am I going to make an income in order to launch and to be able to maintain my apartment and everything. So therefore, as I'm looking for things that are not really, I don't see them around me, that person is also lending a helping hand.
Correct.
There is that whole beware of the Greeks bearing gifts. And this is exactly that situation. But at the same time, I also see money as coming from a divine space.
I hear you, but let me put it in perspective for you. They are of free will with their version of strings attached helping you.
Right.
They are a stepping stone for you to transition yourself to your next role in this world as a human being. They are a facilitator. They are facilitating your journey. Now you ask the universe to open up another spigot so you may sustain and maintain yourself, and you are no longer connected, right? Because even in the Bible it says neither a lender nor a borrower be, right? So because there are strings attached, there's always something that can happen, right? And we need to trust in God. So say, God, I put my trust in you that you will open up a door so that I will have the ability, a flow, a spigot of energy that brings in more abundance for me so that I no longer require this person to facilitate me, and they and I will have fulfilled our soul contract. They're helping you for a reason, okay?
I agree,
Everybody helps.
And I realized
Yeah, everybody,
Sorry.
D, helps everybody along the path of life, right? And when you have a mission, when you have a purpose, there are always people that God puts in your life that have to lift you up, and sometimes they have to lift you up financially. And that is their role, and that's their contract. It's not just about what you all think you know here on earth, right? You know that God's going to open up a door. I want you to trust that that door is going to open up expeditiously. And I want you to know that that reunion, that connection with that person was for you to see the difference so that you recognize you can't be a slave to their expectations. So now you've got to act on what you think you're supposed to do, what you feel you're supposed to do, and you're supposed to manifest with the universe so that they can open the door for you. Does this make sense?
It does. I just wish I knew what it was.
It will be revealed. It will be revealed in due time. And in this time for you, where you are, we're getting ready to start a whole new tribe of people and community and connections, and that's going to open up a lot of doors. And there's so many things you can do, and there's so many things you can know. Pick something that you feel at this moment represents yourself, and you will morph to all the other possibilities. But pick something with your inspired thought that will take you out of your routine so that you can create something new. That newness will open up other doors of possibilities. I do have to go because we are getting ready to close the show, but we trust that we've been of service for you. All right? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It'll be easy. You'll see. Watch the doors open.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, everyone, another show has come to a close. 731 live shows, so we're so glad that we got to spend this show with you. We sure hope to see you next Wednesday night live here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah as we get ready to count up to our 15-year anniversary that's coming up on June 19th. So stay with us, everyone. We are looking forward to sharing all the fun with all of you. Visit sarahspiritual.com if you'd like your own personal session, and there you can also see all the different products that I offer. And come visit our Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach, where we have a full array of metaphysical products. Thank you so much for sharing time and space with me. Good night. God bless you. And I am Sarah Spiritual.
People have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we do.
This has been Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You can hear and speak with Sarah Spiritual every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Each week, Sarah Spiritual and Spirit answer your most important questions as you navigate through life. Listen and call in next week and let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit guide you. If you didn't have a chance to speak with Sarah Spiritual tonight, visit Sarah at sarahspiritual.com. You can message Sarah Spiritual at Facebook and follow her on Instagram. Tune in every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. with more from Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD.